Hello, welcome to the PetSmag podcast. Today I'm speaking to Dr. Ilona Holcomb from ImpriMed, which is a Silicon Valley-based company using AI to revolutionize cancer care for pets. It's an incredibly exciting, cutting-edge topic, and I'm just so pleased to speak to Dr. Ilona today. Welcome.
Thank
Can I
you.
start by asking you, how does AI, in a nutshell, help personalize cancer treatment for pets? Can you just explain a little bit about it, kind of demystify it for readers and listeners, please?
Sure, I'll do my best. So AI it's a tool. It's a computer-based tool that allows for us to see complex patterns and see them much quicker than the normal human eye or human based analysis could do. So I like to say, this is probably oversimplification, but I like to say for those of us who are a little older and remember those magic eye pictures, where if you just look at it, it looks like just a series of dots, incomprehensible dots and colors. But if you stared at it just the right way, you would see a unicorn jumping out of the page, or an old fashioned car, or you'd see the pattern if you stared at it long and hard enough. And some people never could do it. So, where AI comes in is to help us see those patterns much quicker and more efficiently and with more accuracy. And so for cancer, which is such a complex tool or disease, whether you're talking about humans or pets, it's so complex. To see those patterns over time for a patient is very difficult and certainly not something easily done in the clinic. So what we do with at our lab is we find the pieces of the pattern that we can put together to create that picture so that it's not just a picture for any cancer, it's a picture for that particular patient's cancer. And that's where the personal part comes in. So we really take the actual live cancer cells from the patient, find the pieces of the pattern that need to be put together to create that patient's picture of cancer, and how that patient could be best served by the different chemotherapeutics that are available.
So it's basically a very targeted and personalized treatment plan based on, in-depth and curated results for the particular pet, which sounds amazing. It sounds far more effective than traditional methods. Would you say? I mean, obviously, you would say it's eons away from that. It's just amazing. We're living in such an exciting age.
Certainly, we would. We definitely believe in it. And I think more and more the evidence is that that is actually the case, not just in our hands, but in general. This is proving very much to be true. And the issue is that cancer is such a complex disease, and the way that cancer could react to different drugs for that patient is going to be different than how a patient that looks very similar, has the same kind of cancer, how that patient would react to it. And so trying to find those little puzzle pieces that can tell us the way the patient's going to react is really important. So that's what we're really hoping to do to help, the actual patient on an individual level.
It's fascinating. It really is amazing. Just such a breakthrough. Um, and what challenges have you faced in particular using AI in this sense, cancer-based pet care?
There's challenges in terms of making in that are technical challenges, and but I think one of our biggest challenges is that the veterinarians who spend their lives and dedicate, these are not just people who are going to a job, these are people who live and breathe trying to support their patients. And I think at times it is, some of them really love new technologies, they completely take it on, but that's the rare case. For most of the doctors, they've spent so much of their time trying to help by their own knowledge and abilities their patients, just trying to get them to use a novel tool, which maybe they don't. They certainly understand it. These are brilliant people, but more that we have to convince them that we're actually providing a service. These are people who are, trying to do the best, not just for the patient, but for the pet parent. And in some of these cases, it's a very expensive journey that these pet parents and traumatizing that they're about to go on. And so trying to convince the doctors to try something new can be a challenge, understandably so. You know, they have their own methods of doing things, and if they're not sure a new technology is really going to be useful, um, you know, it's a hard mental game to get them to adopt new technologies.
And this technology, with it being so new, so cutting edge, is there a kind of a, at the moment, at least initially, a big price difference between the more traditional methods and the AI-driven methods, or is it leveling itself out? Is it more or less the same?
It's an interesting question because it's not really, you can't compare the price of the AI to the price of what the traditional methods are because they're different. What we're hoping to do is as a first line tool before you start to proceed with the traditional methods, use this technology to help guide you in those next steps. And so we've tried to keep our pricing, you know, very reasonable to the best of our ability because there's still, you know, with treating cancer, there's still a long journey to go that, you know, is not inexpensive in reality. So, you
Mhm.
know, hopefully less expensive if you have better guidance for that journey, and that's what we're hoping to provide. But yeah, we try and keep the pricing very low, and there's really no other technology like this one out there for us to compare to. So you know, we're just trying to hope that this actually overall reduces the cost of this very expensive
Mhm.
treatment process.
Do you think AI will become the standard in veterinary oncology, and what's needed to get there, do you think?
I think we're just on the first step of learning if that's going to be the case. I could easily see it's very well integrated into human cancer oncology. So it seems very likely because there's always this trickle down from what they do for humans to what they do for dogs and cats. So I do believe it's going to become much more prominent in the veterinary space. Right now, it's just a few players,
Mhm.
but it will expand fast once people really realize the power of the tool and how it can just help move faster to solutions for our little ones who don't live as long as we do.
Absolutely. So, I mean, you're a US-based company, obviously, Silicon Valley, where we have a global readership, but we're UK-based. When do you foresee this technology arriving in the UK, or can people access it now, soon?
They actually can, if their veterinarian is willing to give it a shot. We actually have a doctor in the UK who sends us samples to test for him. We have two in Paris. A number of doctors in Canada use our services. We've had samples from Mexico, from South America. The big point for us is the cells have to be live, actual live cancer cells, and we have put in place shipping methods that really try and expedite that. So there is some challenges just getting things over the borders, but we do have international clients right now.
I mean, that's just so exciting that, how soon do you think this will be kind of become a standard treatment? Because, AI tech is
Right.
just improving exponentially as we speak. Do you think it will be the standard, the go-to standard for care, say within 5 years?
I think so. I think 5 years is a
Mhm.
pretty accurate assessment of the timeline because, like I said, it's very widely used in the human space. As we prove out that it's actually more cost effective, there may be some research and development costs up front, but ultimately it provides a much more inexpensive tool and technology for doctors to use in the veterinary space.
Mhm.
I believe it once they really see it, it's going to be a quick adoption process. So once we get out there broader, as a broader reach. I know other companies are looking into this as well. So I think, and at this point, we're not competitors. We actually try and work together because it serves us all to
That's very
try and
rich,
help.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And in the veterinary space, still more than maybe in the human space, we're we are in it. I mean, I have a dog and two cats. I've always had animals. Everybody I work with has animals. All the other companies we talk to, they have animals. So there's a universal goal we all have to help these our little fuzzy friends. And so usually that outweighs any kind of competitive feelings people have. So we do partner with a lot of these companies, and we're trying to get everybody moving it along faster. So I really hope that once we get a certain level of momentum, it'll just be, a very quick adoption from the
So
doctor's side.
are you coming from the point of view you specialize initially in human oncology, is that correct? And then you have moved into animal oncology as well?
It's actually the opposite. So we
Oh,
we
sorry.
started. Yeah, no, it's
Sorry.
okay. That's how actually that's how most companies do it. But we actually started in veterinary oncology. So our very first technology was built around helping dogs with lymphoma and leukemia. We're expanding that research. So we're trying to look at ways to help dogs in a similar way with mast cell tumors, which is a very prominent tumor type as well. And then we actually have services for cats. So we're trying not to leave anybody behind because there's a lot of maybe pet parents, but certainly veterinarians in every field, whether it's oncology or general practice, as they all know that the cats often get left behind with these new technologies and new advances. So we're really trying to be advocates for the little meowing guys too.
Um, okay, brilliant. So I mean, when did you start? When did you first start offering the treatment, the AI treatment? Was it relatively recently? I'm assuming it was.
Yeah, so the research started in 2017, and we were providing veterinary oncologists our research for free, the results from our research for free for we starting around 2019, and we did that for about 2 years until we got their confidence. We built up our technologies, and then we started to provide it as a commercial service in 2021. So it's been a few years. We've been at it for a while, and like I said, we're always trying to improve it. We're not, this is a new technology, so we're always tweaking and making it a little better. With more data, we can always. It's really just the more data, the better it's going to be.
Brilliant. People listening to this, watching this, will be thinking, how can I access this amazing treatment? Perhaps their dog, their cat has been relatively recently diagnosed with a cancer. What can people do to access it? I mean, I guess it's going to be more straightforward if you're sitting in the US, watching this. But if you're sitting in the UK watching this, what can people do? How do they access this
Right.
treatment?
So we have on our website a pet parents page that really talks to pet parents about and I will say it's a very scary process when you first start it. You don't know what's going to happen. And so some of the content is really just about cancer, the disease, the different types of treatments, just very basic information that hopefully helps them. Because the veterinarian will tell them that as well. But sometimes when you're in that moment, you're scared and it's hard to process all that information. So our webpage tries to go through some of the basics, but also it gives a downloadable page that gives you questions to talk to your doctor about, not just about our service, but maybe just things that might be helpful from what we know is going to happen. Just to talk to the doctor about the cancer, and then talk to them about what we can do to support the care.
So someone going through that and having that dreadful news, they'll be able to just speak to their vet about this treatment, and their vet will potentially make inquiries, hopefully make inquiries on their behalf.
Exactly. And we we're very interested in helping pet parents, but we also try and protect the autonomy of the veterinarians because they really are the experts. We don't want to overstep those bounds.
Mm.
And so we're happy to help pet parents talk to the doctors, but we also want to make sure that ultimately they should trust if they're going to that veterinary oncologist, and these are all, like I said, brilliant people who've dedicated their lives to their craft. So ultimately they should trust the expertise of their veterinary oncologist. But we try and help that process, and I think sometimes the veterinary oncologists have just never heard of us. So maybe just as they're always welcome to call us. I talk to doctors I call them doctors because that's how I see them. They are doctors. And so, but I talk to the veterinary doctors on a regular basis just to try and help them understand what we do and answer their questions as well.
Brilliant. Now, just a final question. How do you see the technology developing in the next, say, 5 to 10 years?
There's a couple ways that I think are really exciting. So I'm a scientist, so I very much get excited about making things even better and bigger. One of them is right now our service allows for a prediction of response. So like how well that patient will do to 13 different drugs, chemotherapeutic small molecules that are currently used by doctors commonly used to treat canine lymphoma. We know that there's a lot more really exciting therapeutics coming out that are incredibly powerful. And so as we build up more data around some of those new chemotherapeutics and new anti-cancer agents, we hope to really expand which drugs we can say will be useful for that pet. And the reality is some of the older therapeutics aren't useful in every case, the cases you would expect them to be. So what do you tell either the veterinary oncologist or the pet parent if none of the drugs on our list are useful? So we're really just hoping to build out that list so that ultimately we can always be able to provide some useful information for the treatment of that pet parent. And in addition, or treatment of the dog for the pet parent. And then in addition, like I said, we're trying more and more to incorporate cats, having new technologies for cats, and then having new technologies for other cancer types. And ultimately, we're like I said, we started in veterinary medicine, but we're bringing a lot of these technologies to the human space. We've learned so much from the furry critters in the family, and now we're really trying to apply that to the ones on two legs.
I mean, it's a fascinating journey, really exciting times, and I just want to thank you, Dr. Ilona, for speaking to us today. And I'm sure all our readers and listeners and viewers will be, so interested in this. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Great, thank you.